Found this stick stuck in the ground. Chris found it the other day, right after dusk. The rays from his night lamp, his yard lamp, illuminates a spot, and the stick is just a simulation. He came back the next day after he found it, and it was pulled out of the ground. He could not find the stick, but this stick here is stuck, I want to say 6 inches into the ground. And if you look at my hand, right here is at the edge of where the light came between his buildings and hit the ground. And if you stay on that side of the stick, you're in the shadows. So to me, the stick is an indicator of stopping on the other side of it, short of prevent you from, is an indicator, prevents you from walking into directly into the light. So they know, if this is what they're doing with the stick, they're marking an area that keeps them in the shadows. They know if they step past the stick, they're stepping into the light. I don't know if they use that as an indicator. Very possible. And the next day, Chris came out and the stick was gone. It was pulled out. He looked around for it. He could not find it. So again, this stick here is just a simulation, jammed about 6 inches into the ground. And there's no way, even if that fell out of a tree, it doesn't have enough weight to it to just stick into the ground. So something with hands had to do that. So and again, we're at Chris's farm. He's been having activity here at about 3 a.m. in the morning. Screams and yells and more noise and sounds that he believes he can't account for. It's not coming from his livestock or farm animals. So I'll continue on. We're going to see if we find any more evidence of what's going on here. Bye bye. We're back, guys. We just found this break. Hell, this break is probably easily 18 feet off the ground. A fresh break right there. And if you follow the top part of the break down, what I call the check mark, it points directly to where we hung our apples, which is right here. We hung our apples right there. So it's sort of coincidental. I don't believe in chance. So right behind that break, though, which we're walking under, is this arch I showed you in the past video that sort of stabbed into the ground, this sapling arch. We thought we'd come back and revisit this area. It doesn't look like there were really any changes here.
Other than that break.
Yeah.
That's fresh.
Yes, it is. Here's an arch with a bunch of leaners on either side of it. It's leaned up on this arch. Here on the other side, another one leaned up on the arch. Here's another one. This is not just leaned up on the arch, but the end, the forked end of it is actually stabbed into the arch. Now that's very unusual. This arch got pulled over, and there's no way this naturally right there fell into it. That was inserted. Definitely a manipulation. But I videoed this, I showed this in a previous video, so there it is. Sort of the beginnings of a smaller structure. And then we'll look over at the stick stack in the creek bed. It's still there. I don't see very many changes. all the growth, the green growth that was on here last time I was here, that's because of fall. All the leaves fell off of all the greenery that was still on some of this brush that was placed here. But right there you can see where that bend, basically it's more of a bend than it is a break. It was right from that tree that we hung our 2 bags of apples. And they took the 2 bags of apples, but then right below it there's a bag of garlic laying on the ground on the other side of this tree here, this fallen tree. There's a bag of garlic on the ground there that they didn't take the garlic. For whatever reason, the garlic was, I bought some bleached garlic and they didn't take it. Probably because it was processed with bleach. So next time we'll just leave organic. Here's something else that's sort of incidental. You know, I on it by itself without any of this other stuff here, I would say this is incidental. Here's a stick, and this branch right here, this branch here is wrapped around the top of this stick, and the stick is just trapped here, leaned here. You know, and you follow the stick down, it goes down to the ground. But it's it was leaned here on this dead sapling right here, and then it was leaned in the crook of this branch, and the branch is just wrapped around it and sort of trapping it. By itself, if I just came across this by itself and there was no other conformational breaks or structures nearby, I would say this is nothing. But this to me is also an indicator that they're possibly doing this. They're manipulating stuff. So just something to think about, guys. Food for thought. What do you think, Chris?
That looks like it's...
Yeah, we might have...
didn't happen naturally.
Yeah, we missed it last time. That doesn't mean it wasn't here. Then again, this could have been put up since our last visit here. Definitely that snap I showed you earlier is that's fresh. You can see how yellow and fresh, whitish yellow the snap is. That just happened recently. So, and we're in a valley here between two ridge lines, between two sets of hills, so it's even on windy days you can be down here and you'll feel no wind, so it's pretty well protected. Well, I'm going to sign out, catch you guys in a few minutes. Bye bye. Hi guys, I'm back. Just want to show you some stuff we found walking through this forest preserve area. A lean, and we're gonna continue down and see what we find. Go this way, Dave. Okay. It's a shaped tree. We're at the knob of this hill, surrounded by forest, and we're going to go back to the draw where we came up. And that's a train you can hear in the background. Yeah, we came across a opossum while we were approaching the saddle between these hills, coming up to the top of this hill. And died of natural causes? I don't know. We have an opossum here. No indication of gunshot. Look at the other side. Yeah, I don't know if rigor set in, guys. Yeah, it's got a little rigor to it, or a lot of rigor to it, but it doesn't look like it's what killed it. I couldn't tell you. We come up through the saddle and it was laying on the right side of the saddle as we got out to the top of the hill. So something, no indication of predation, it's just laying here dead. I'm not going to muck with it too much. So, see you guys further downhill. Yeah, we came across another arch. Again, we're going downhill, down through this draw, away from the saddle that we just walked over. And there's this arch that could have been trapped by the deadfall to the right of it. Right there, you can see where it's sort of wrapped around. Let me walk up to it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See how it's sort of wrapped around some of this deadfall right there. Where the branches go underneath the deadfall and then gets sort of weaved through the middle between the two trees laying there. Coincidence? Maybe. Manipulated? Possibly. We'll look at this X now. This is an X we saw coming up through this draw between the hills. I felt it was significant, facing uphill toward the knob of this hill, the top of the hill. Sort of laid over. We're not finding a lot of structure, but we are finding some questionable things, manipulations, a lot of deer scrapes. It is deer season right now. Of course, it's not in this area yet. There's another break right there. Got some age to it. Find a lot of breaks. I got some of these breaks are natural. Some are suspicious. And you could pretty much tell as we walk down here that you can see the trail ahead of us. It's a deer trail, but basically it's a game trail. A lot of animals have traveled this draw here, this path going up to the saddle. And I'll sweep around. Dave's with me today. And you can see the saddle we climbed over and all the blockages between it. And then at the very top of that saddle, I don't know if you can make it out, there's a brush pile there. And you walk out of that saddle onto a knob or summit on top of the hill. And that's where I found the opossum, right up there. So activity of predators. We do have plenty of coyote in this area. I've seen bobcat tracks here, and I'm sure there are other predators here we don't know nothing about. So guys, we'll meet you below hill. Looks like a tree fell here, and it broke into the shape of a triangle. It's sort of wedged in there between the narrow V or gap between this double tree growing out of the ground, and you can see where it sort of fell or got wedged in here. And then of course right in front of me is this leaner, as you can see, going up to the top of the tree. And they're all then underneath. You can see where that one dead tree fell in that really small little gap. I want to say the gap can't be more than 6 to 8 inches at any given spot where that tree fell into it. Now, yes, it's possible that tree fell into that narrow gap between this double tree. I said I've seen stranger stuff happen. So just something for food for thought, guys. Actually, from this angle it looks a lot different. Guys, we're coming down this below the saddle through this draw, going down below the hill here, and on the left side of the draw Dave sees what looks like he thought was an ice cream wrapper, and it turns out it's one of those blue Mylar balloons, which so many people seem to think Bigfoot are responsible for taking and using or placing or whatever. This one is got what appears to be like rabbit ears on it. Some kind of Mylar balloon just laying there right at the base of this tree. I always keep finding Mylar balloons, and generally, so far, almost every single one of them have been blue with secondary colors in there, but generally they're always blue Mylar balloons. I'm waiting for to find the yellow, orange, red one. Haven't seen any of those yet. So it's interesting, other than the fact that there are more baby boys born into this area than girls. Well, I don't ever see pink ones. Where's the pink and red ones, guys? Tell me. I'd be interested in hearing. Bye-bye. Could be anything, guys. This fell into the crook of this tree. You and then it snapped off, and the end that broke off landed perfectly perched against this other tree. So it broke when it landed in that V, and the broken piece, this 9-foot piece, fell perfectly leaning against the tree in front of it. I looked up overhead to see where it broke off of, and no indication of a break off from a tree overhead. So maybe it's my imagination running away with me, who knows. But there it is. I'll walk up to it. Another debarked leaner. And that's what I'm talking about, the piece that's laid up into it right overhead. There's both of them. The sun was sort of just something to, maybe just insignificant, something to check out though. A lot of break-offs in this area. Check you guys later.